What's up, sports bettors? We have 17 MLB games today, and what we're going to be going through is the best player props on PrizePicks. So PrizePicks is a pretty fascinating platform. It's similar to Underdog Fantasy in that the way it works is any two picks you select, your payouts are always going to be the same. So you'll notice for any two-pick entry, you're always going to be getting 20 to win 60, which means 20 to win 40 in profit. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter if you take the overs, the unders. It doesn't matter what two picks you select. It's always 20 to win 40 in profit, which is just plus 200 odds. Now, any three-pick entry, you're always getting plus 400 odds, 20 to win 80 in profit, right? It doesn't matter if you take the overs, the unders. So long story short, what's really fascinating about this platform compared to sportsbooks is they don't vary payouts depending on if you select the over or the under. So as an example, let's go through kind of the math very briefly, and there will be a full video in the end screen kind of about PrizePicks strategy, but then we'll get into the picks because I have 5 MLB picks. So for a two-pick entry, you're getting minus 137 implied juice. So this is worse than a 4-pick power play. So these are both power plays. These are all power plays. The top ones, that I should note. So for a 2-leg power play, you're getting the implied price of minus 137. For a 3-leg power play, minus 141, so worse. You're getting worse juice. And then for a 4-leg entry, you're getting minus 128. What's most advantageous, actually, is a 5-pick flex play. So what you can see here, for example, is Mike Minor under 4.5 strikeouts, right? The sportsbooks have this under heavily juiced. DraftKings pricing this at minus 150. Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, they're pricing this at minus 155. So all the sportsbooks have the under heavily juiced, which means they think that the under is a lot more likely to hit, right? So if we actually just go here, if you put in Mike Minor, for example, under 4.5 strikeouts, on DraftKings, and then you take Patrick Sandoval, which is the next pick we have. So this is number 2 of 5. So then you take Patrick Sandoval over 5.5. Your parlay on DraftKings, as you can see right here, comes out to plus 177, right? So if I took this on PrizePicks, if I took Minor over and then I want Sandoval over, what you'll notice is, hey, we're going to be getting plus 200 odds still, right? 20 to win 40 in profit, 20 to win 60 total, we're still just getting plus 200 odds. Now, if we switch this both to unders, on PrizePicks, our payout doesn't change, but on DraftKings, what you'll notice is your payout significantly increases if you reverse this to plus 362 odds, right? And that's because the over for Mike Minor is a lot less likely to hit according to betting markets, right? Sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds. So when you're able to find these spots where sportsbooks have the unders heavily juiced or the overs heavily juiced, that's because the sportsbooks think the overs are a lot more likely to hit. And it's easy to pick off PrizePicks because they're not varying payouts depending on if you select the over or the under, right? So another way you can think about this is like for a 5-pick flex play, you need to be winning your player props 54.33% of the time to break even, and that's for a 5-pick flex. This Mike Minor prop, according to Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest bookmaker, in how they're juicing their markets. So if we go ahead and we take this and we put it into a no-vig fair odds calculator, you can see Pinnacle here. We can look at, for this Mike Minor example, they're pricing his over, or Patrick Sandoval, they're pricing his over 5.5 Ks at minus 159, right? His unders at plus 120. So according to Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, right, this player prop, Patrick Sandoval, over 5.5 strikeouts, is cashing 57.46% of the time. We only need to win in 5-pick flex plays 54.3% of the time to break even. So being able to get a prop that's winning 57.5% of the time is positive EV, right? It's profitable. So again, like the way that this OddsJam tool works, the positive EV tool, is it just is, constantly really scanning PrizePicks, as well as all the sportsbook odds, updating millions of lines in real time to try to find you these line discrepancies, right? Where are sportsbooks and PrizePicks slipping up and giving you value that you can actually quantify, right, according to real-time market data. And it should be pretty clear, right? Like when Mike Minor under 4.5 strikeouts is minus 160, minus 150 on all the sports books, and we can get this in our PrizePicks entry, we should definitely be taking the under, not the over. So anyways, first pick we have Mike Minor under 4.5 Ks, Patrick Sandoval over 5.5 Ks. That's pick number 2 in the flex play. If we continue to go down, next we have Jeffrey Springs under 5.5. Once again, pretty ridiculous value. Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker, pricing this at minus 159. You can also get this in Underdog Fantasy if you have Underdog Fantasy available to you, but not PrizePicks. The strategy, the math is relatively similar. So that's pick number 3, Jeffrey Springs under. Trevor Rogers over 4.5, right? So this is very data-driven, market-oriented sports betting, right? Because every sportsbook has unique odds, you can kind of treat every sportsbook, right, in the market as an independent data point, right? An independent set of information. This is how the sharps do it. This is how the pros do it. So you're comparing lines between sportsbooks and really looking for these edges in these discrepancies where you, as a sports bettor, have a positive profit margin as opposed to the sportsbook, right? Because PrizePicks, they bake juice into their market, right? Which is why most bets on PrizePicks aren't profitable. And it's why PrizePicks is profitable, because it takes work and, kind of an understanding of markets and how PrizePicks works, how their payouts work, to actually understand how to beat them. Anyways, so we have Trevor Rogers over 4.5 Ks, Jeffrey Springs under 5.5, Sandoval over 5.5, Nick Pivetta over 4.5, and then we have Mike Minor under 4.5. So 5 picks, 5-pick flex play. And you can see it right here. Mike Minor under 4.5, Nick Pivetta over 4.5, Jeffrey Springs under 5.5, Trevor Rogers more than 4.5, and Patrick Sandoval more than 5.5. 5 picks, 75 to win 750. You can kind of see your payouts here. You can calculate how much you think you're going to earn, things like that. And let's make some money.